thank you for coming back to my channel. I'm coming back to you here with another pregnancy update. This is the second trimester. If you're not already subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you know whenever I upload again. So stay tuned for the rest of the video. Okay guys, so let's talk second trimester. Honestly, before I do that, second trimester is, I think, 13 weeks through to 28 weeks. But anyways, to be honest with you, my second trimester has been pretty good. In the beginning there, I did not write down all this information. I suck. But in the beginning, it was a little touch and go for me, because in the beginning of the second trimester, I was still throwing up. I was still getting sick. I was still weak. That's around 13, 14 weeks. I was still weak and just not in the mood or feeling it to do anything. But I eventually got over that. But I don't know if you guys heard, a lot of people say that second trimester you get a burst of energy. Like, I thought they were lying, but it is the truth. I felt like after like maybe 15 weeks or so, I felt amazing. I was able to do anything. I even went running a few times. Like, I actually wanted to exercise. Like, come on. I went walking, I went running. I was literally dragging my husband out the door to let us go run or go walk on the trail or something. It's ridiculous. I did not feel pregnant anymore. I was going on swings and just doing crazy stuff, because sometimes I would forget that I was pregnant. Like, I remember I was on a swing and I literally hopped off, and my cousin was just like, what did you just do? And I'm like, oh shit. but yeah, so second trimester, for some people, obviously everyone's journey is not the same, but for me, it was magnificent. The middle part of it was magnificent. I loved it. I loved every moment of it, and I was happy. So doctor's appointments, I had a few doctor's appointments in there, because how they set it up here with the Army, they have a thing called centering. The centering class kind of takes space up a doctor's appointment. So whenever I do go to my centering class, they check the baby's heartbeat, stuff like that, measurements, my weight stuff, so I won't have to have a actual doctor's appointment. So they set my appointment up for me to have a ultrasound at 20 weeks, which mine would have probably been, mine was at 21 because I couldn't get an appointment. So it would have been 21 weeks for me to find out the gender, for them to do the measurements, stuff like that. And I did not want to wait that long. So we went to a different facility and paid to get the ultrasound to find out the gender. And I did that at 16 weeks in like 3 days. So we found out the gender, and it is a girl. That is what we wanted. Honestly, it didn't matter what we got sex wise, but I did want a girl first. We did not do a gender reveal. I wanted to do one so bad, but what happened was everything got messed up, because my friend was supposed to come to the appointment with us, right? We got the letter, the picture in an envelope, closed envelope and everything, and the point of her coming was for her to be there and just take the envelope and drive off. We were gonna have a little get together in like 4 days. with a cake and balloon. I had the balloon and everything to pop. We're gonna get it. We had the person to make a cake already, so when you cut it, it's like blue or pink inside. But my mom called. My mom called me on the way home from the ultrasound appointment, and she was on the phone with my grandma, so they three-wayed me, and my grandma's in Jamaica. So I was on the phone, and they're like, okay, what is it? What are you having? I'm like, I don't know. So they're like, how? You were just at your appointment. I'm like, well, it's in an envelope in my hand. So they're like, open it. You know what I mean? And my grandma, I was like, no, I'm doing a gender reveal, you know? And my grandma was like, oh, I've never heard, you know, me never hear nothing like that before. That a foolishness, who do that? You know, she was just being herself. She was just like, oh, you know, she's never heard that before. You know, no one does that. She was like, and I'm like, in my head, I'm just like, everyone does that now. But my grandma, she's like, you know, no one does that. You know, why am I doing that? Why am I keeping her in suspense? And she's like, what me later, what me later, what me later. I'm like, okay. They were both like just pressuring me. Like, I had peer pressure from my grandma and my mom, literally. So I was just getting nervous, and they're like, oh, it's a girl. No, it's a boy. Oh, it's a girl. And I was just like, I can't take this anymore. Let me just open the letter, get it over with, you know. And Seth was trying to take the envelope from me the whole time, and I was just not having it. I should have just let him took the letter. But anyway, did I say my friend was late? My friend was late, overslept, and she was not at that appointment, so that's why I ended up with the letter. But anyways, peer pressure from my grandma and my mom got the best of me, and I opened it, and it was a girl. I was really excited about that, and happy. Yeah, they were both happy, excited. Keep it moving from there, and that was around 16 weeks. So fast forward to 20 weeks when I had the other ultrasound, because I still had to keep that one because that one was from my doctor. We did the ultrasound, you know, they did the measurements, stuff like that, and everything was good. You know, it wasn't anything that they could have told us, because I wouldn't have understood the measurements anyway, and I already knew the sex. So 3-4 days later, I get a call from one of the doctors in the office. It wasn't exactly my doctor, but one of the doctors in the office, and she was like, so we found a abnormality on the ultrasound. Like, immediately my heart was just like, you know what I mean? Like, I was like, what? You know, what's wrong with my child? So they're like, it's called echogenic focus. I think it's called EIF for short. You can look that up if you want. So it's basically, when they look at the ultrasound, it's like a bright spot over where the baby's heart will be. And apparently it happens in every 3 to 5% of pregnancies. In a lot of cases it can mean nothing, but a lot of times it is a indication for Down syndrome or heart defect or something like that. But I think it's mostly like Down syndrome and stuff. So they're like, okay, we want you to go back in and do some blood work to rule out all that stuff. So they said they wanted me to go back in and do blood work to rule out Down syndrome and anything else that it could be that they can find out from now. So that was a Monday, and they said that I could go in. No, that was a Wednesday. And like from the Wednesday to Friday, which I got it done the Friday, I was a nervous wreck. I was crying. I was like, oh my gosh, you know, something's wrong with my baby, you know, because no one wants to hear that anything's wrong with their child. And if it really is a heart issue or something like that, like that's serious, you know what I mean? That's something that they would probably have to live with their whole life. So I was a nervous wreck. Like that whole week I didn't go anywhere. Like for 2 weeks or so I didn't go anywhere. I stayed in the house the whole time. But anyhow, Seth came home from work one day and he took me because I didn't have the energy to even drive myself to go get the blood work done. I was just a nervous wreck. I was crying for days. Anyhow, we did the blood work and it took them like a week or so to give me my results back. So they called me and they said, you know, everything's good. We ruled out Down syndrome. We ruled out heart defect. It's just that it shows up on ultrasounds and they have to tell us what they see or what they find. We ruled out everything. I was still a little nervous. It took me like another 2-3 weeks to fully let that go and get over it, but I was still a little nervous wreck, you know, because again, it is a serious thing, you know. So moving on, other than that, it's pretty much been good. I've been having heartburn, but it hasn't been bad. It was like mild heartburn, and it was so mild that the whole time I thought I was dehydrated. How I thought that, I don't know. Now that I look back at it, I should have known that it wasn't dehydration. I should have known, like, because my chest wasn't burning or hurting. It was mostly my throat was just dry and scratchy.